Hey guys, Rex here. So this one is hyper controversial, and people will clobber each other with this one all day because it's fun, apparently. However, that's not my objective. I'm not here to convert you or clobber you or convince you or issue my theological disposition or apologetics or polemics or any of that stuff, okay? I'm just going to explain to you my experience on this, okay? The question comes in from a beloved patron. Thank you for the patrons who have been supporting the operation. But I'm going to share this one everywhere. I think this one's super important to go out to everybody. But the question came in on Patreon. I answer all the questions over there in detail. So this is the answer for that one. Rex, do you believe in salvation by grace or salvation by the works of the law? Man, I know church people like to argue all the time about that stuff, but to me it's like really simple. I've talked about this 10 years ago, I think. And I know that there's a lot of traps people set for each other, and they'll have, their stuff set up to catch the other guy. And I am absolutely not interested in a debate. I know that people who are apologetic, into the apologetics, look at this as a high school debate topic. And I think that's not doing Father justice for the grace he does bestow on us to try to win a pissing contest against our brothers and sisters so we can clobber them and have hierarchy. I'm not going to do that. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'll just tell you what my experience is. Do I believe in salvation by grace or by works of the law? Every second I'm alive is pure grace. Every second the sun does not explode and cook the earth is pure grace. Every second the nukes don't fly and leave us all wandering around here blind and deformed for the next 1,000 years is grace. We do not deserve anything that we have here. We don't deserve any of this, I don't think. I think when you contrast his perfection with our rebellion, it's like super obvious to me, purely, that it's absolutely all his grace for even keeping us around, to even have the opportunity to repent, right? So that's the way I feel about that deal. It's all grace. Well, then what's up with all the works? I don't know, man. I love Papa. Super simple. And you guys can argue with each other in the comments. I'm not going to, man, I don't see why people got to argue about that. Is it okay for us to, be appreciative of being around still? I should be dead. I should be dead, but I'm not. There's a number of times I should have died and I didn't. And in those moments, I haven't forgot them. I think that it is by the grace of God that he allows me to still be here. I do not deserve what I would consider to be an amazing wife, a perfect wife, right? Now, nobody's perfect, but you know what I mean? I do not deserve her. It is by the grace of God that I have her. I do not deserve the family we have. I do not deserve to live here in peace. I don't deserve any of that. I think that in his grace and love and patience, he, out of his character of love for us, his creation, he has pleasure in the creation that he is gracefully bestowing upon us every breath. Let me type theology real quick in here. Rex, well, easy on the keyboards, guys. Easy on the keyboards. Just wait a minute. Okay? Now, because of that, it's not like I'm even motivated. It's just natural for me to want to dwell with him. Does it make sense? I want to dwell with the Father. I want to dwell with Papa. I want to be like him. I want to please him. You know what I mean? I see how he's awesome and his ways are awesome and our ways are terrible. So I'm like reaching up at all times. Do I stumble and fail, Rex? Or do you stumble and fail? Yeah, of course. Of course. But my full desire, like my center of gravity, is trying to get closer. You know what I mean? So then how does that look? Well, I mean, when he speaks, I listen because I love him. You know what I mean? Do I think I'm so superior because, I'm trying to obey? Right? It's as simple as I understand what Papa likes and I understand what he doesn't like. Don't you guys have kids? Do you got a dog or something? I mean, like, if your dog just like continuously is biting people and pooping on the floor, not listening and just snarling and not ever like being a good dog, don't you get frustrated as hell with that thing? Don't you eventually just want to take it to the pound and get rid of it? But you keep it around. You're like, maybe I can teach it a trick. Then it just does. It's a terrible dog, right? Wouldn't that break your heart? All the time and effort you put into saving it from the pound and then like putting food in its bowl and then it like knocks the food bowl over and then bites you and then poops on the floor and just like attacks the mailman or whatever. Like, how is that demonstrating appreciation for the grace that you as the person that saved the dog from the pound, like wouldn't you appreciate it if the dog liked you then, right? That's as simple as it really is to me. You know what I mean? Like, I got rescued from the pound, and I'm like, thank you. Wow. I didn't know I could get out of here. You saved me from the pound. They were going to put me to sleep, man. He's like, yeah, I love you. You're pretty cool. Like, okay, what do you want me to do? And I'm slobbering and my tail's wagging, and I knock stuff off the shelf, and he picks it up. He's like, hey, be careful. Okay, sorry, But now my desire is to be with the master. You understand the concept? Now, for those of you with children, do you understand how simple this concept is? Man, if my kids are walking around and they're 100% convinced Papa would never throw us into the garbage can. He'd never just take us to the orphanage because Papa loves us and he promised he would never do it. So I'm going to just be terrible. They're just going to use that against you now. So that's, God forbid that would ever happen, right? Some do that. Not everyone does that. What is the natural relationship between father and child? The kid, a good child will appreciate Papa, want to be just like Papa, want to hold his hand, want to climb up on his lap, It's like super simple. I don't understand the debate. I don't get it. Yeah, but Rex, we're smart with books. Oh, okay, man. Well, you go be smart with a book over there. Go back over there. I'm going to sit over here. I mean, it's not bad that you want to be smart with a book. I mean, I have the same book too. And I think that being smart is good because we're supposed to be, demonstrating our quality by everything we do. Like if you have a profession, we should do a good job to glorify him. You know what I mean? But like works is looked at, good behavior should not be looked at as a bad thing. So the idea that me and some of my brothers get so much crap by people who are mad because they perceive what are you doing? What are you being a good kid for? What do you think you're better than everybody? Whoa, man. Maybe that's the attitude people are picking up. I don't know how that works. I'm not doing it to try to be cooler than anybody. It's literally like a Cain and Abel type thing, right? Like Cain's what do you think you're better than me? How dare you try to please the Father and appreciate him and actually have in your heart the full offering that you wanted to give to him. You just and then, is that not the situation? Can't we celebrate when other people do better than us for 5 minutes or have a clear vision or whatever? You know what I mean? I don't get the whole arguing thing. I think that exactly what he says is exactly what he means. And when he says, if you love me, then listen. Do what I said, right? Where if you say you love me all the time, but you're never listening or you're never doing what I say, you're never keeping what I told you to do, I don't think you really love me then. Well, Rex, can we lose it? Can we lose our place? Is he going to kick us out of our bedroom? Like, I see that. I don't know. Like, why are we so concerned? Where does that, what's the genesis of that question? What's the genesis of the anxiety for us worried about how much shit we can get away with before he'll kick us out of the house? That's like the losing the salvation thing. Like when people say, can you lose your salvation from this or that? I'm like, why are you continuously asking me what kind of stuff it would take to get kicked out of the house? What are you doing? Are you planning a crazy party later? Like, are you going to like invite motorcycle gangs when mom and dad go out for the date and just trash the house? You think they would kick us out if we did this? Like, what are you doing? And I mean no disrespect. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying in general, that's like, what is the genesis of the anxiety? What's the genesis of the question? Because if we're worried about something, then we need to maybe have more introspection and dig into like, okay, well, am I doing something that I know he's not going to appreciate? Then the question should be, how can I adjust myself to please him better, more than how can I adjust my entire way of thinking to where he still won't kick me out, you know what I mean? And I can get away with this. Like, does that make sense? I mean, I don't know if that sounds weird to you guys or not, but, and I could lay it out. I've outlined it out before. I was good at apologetics and all that, to proof text everything I'm saying. If you read the entire book as a single unit, it comes into perfectly clear focus in stereo, two different sides, right? You got the road in the middle, the narrow path in the middle, and then you got the cliff on one side and the cliff on the other side. Well, you want to be lawless, right? Or do you want to be just a miserable religious tyrant? Which one is it, Rex? A or B? Do you want to be a lawless, terrible, disobedient, like heathen? Or do you want to be a miserable tyrant that uses his name in vain? What? Is there more choices in this? Oh, I know I only heard of two choices, Rex. You can either be terrible or you can be terrible in a different way. How about I pick choice C? What's that? Balance. You know what I mean? Like, how about I love Papa, therefore I just stay close to him and then I just hold his hand? How about that? What do you think? You're better than everyone? Like, no. I don't think I'm better than everyone. I just want to be with Papa, that's all. Is that okay anymore? Am I going to be excommunicated for believing in crazy ideas like thinking that Papa would, just being close to him and thinking that obeying Papa's an okay idea? Is it okay for us to want to obey him? Or is that forbidden for some? How could that possibly be forbidden to want to obey him? You know what I mean? And I know I can hear the clicking. The smart guys on the typewriters just hammering away. Well, you see, there's different dispensations and different, easy. To be consistent, if you want to do away with Papa's standards of what pleases him and all that righteousness business, then you have to quit complaining when the rainbow clowns go down to the grade school. You know why? Because that's in the book that you say is no longer relevant. That's in that old part of the book, see? Did you ever read that part of the book? It's not terrible things. It's like, hey, you should respect and honor your parents. Here's how to take care of them. Here's how to have proper weights and measures. Here's how to have good, clean business doings. You shouldn't be hosing people over. Oh, that's done away with, man. What do you think? We're going to be saved by having clean business dealings, Rex? That's not what I said. I'm just saying that he's trying to help us in our walk in life, see? He's trying to help us by giving us the way to do life, like the basic instructions before leaving Earth type stuff. Bible. Yeah. He's trying to help us to not have terrible relationships by telling us what are good operating systems. Do I think I'm going to earn stuff by doing it? It's not my motivation, man. My motivation is I like good things also. Me and Papa both like the good things that he talks about all the time. So therefore we both try to aim at him. Because I'm looking at him. I'm trying to be like him. We're told to be like him. Right? You know, Yeshua came, Jesus, right? And lived his entire life so that we can have an example of how to be. So I'm just trying to like, hey, he did this, so I'm going to try to do that too. I'm going to try to be like him. Is that cool? Nope, unacceptable. You're actually dangerous, and you're not allowed. Nobody's allowed to hang out with him for the Bible study anymore. He's not allowed to preach now because like he's trying to be obedient. I know this guy that's going through this now, who's like a preacher, and man, are they hammering him bad because he's like, hey, I think we should like read from the Gospel of Matthew. And they're like, well, what part do you want to read? What do you mean, what part do I want to read? Well, are you going to be preaching that we should be doing good things? Maybe? Well, that's not tolerated around here. Like, you can't read how to do good things in church now? Do you guys wonder why we're messed up in 2023? You know where that came from? You think maybe the enemy is trying to confuse us and trick us into saying that doing what Papa said to do is bad? It's like a cuckoo clock. We're going to wake up in the kingdom at some point and look back and be like, can you believe that people fell for that one? Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe that in 2023, the churches would yell at you for reading what God said we should all do and thinking that it's good to be obedient to God? They said that you, like, then you're being bad. And then they still yelled at the heathen guys because they're not obeying the Christian values. So who sits on the throne, him or us? See? Are we offended that people are doing bad stuff? Because he said they shouldn't be doing all that weird stuff? Or because that was our church rules? Who has the power then, right? Either we practice general morality parameters because he said, or we, do what the church says. Hopefully the church would be on the same page as him, right? But you wouldn't, man. It's simple. It's really simple, right? And I'm not trying to be mean. I hope man, if anything that I said like has someone like angry or out of line, then I don't even know what to say to that. That's not on me. That's like your problem, right? Like if someone's just losing their shit, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that thing, Rex. You said that we love Papa and therefore we try to be like him and obey him. And like you didn't even jump into the bear trap of the religious conundrum that Satan created for us to have you jump in. No, I didn't jump into the bear trap of your religious conundrum that Satan set up for everyone to jump into. I didn't jump into it. You know why? Because it's a trap. And I don't like getting snared in traps. How about this? How about you do whatever you want to do? You be you, boo, or whatever, right? You do your stuff. And I'm just going to happily, and with a smile on my face, continue to appreciate his amount of grace in my life continuously every second. And as I'm appreciating that, I'm going to continue to try to follow the pillar of fire and smoke, just like in Exodus. I'm going to continue to follow him. Here is the patience of the saints, right? Them that believe in like the certain denominational like precepts of things that we wrote down in our church manual and hung on the wall. That's not what he was saying though, see? I try to do what he said because I love him. Like if I know my wife loves certain, things for dessert, I'm not going to buy the worst thing she hates because I love her. What do you think? You're better than other husbands, Rex? You bought your wife a strawberry, whatever the hell. What do you think? You're better than me? Like, no, man, I just love my wife. That's why I got her the strawberry thing. I know she likes it. Well, why didn't you get her a dead bird in a big bag that's rotting? What do you think? You're better than the people that do that? Like, dude, what the hell? Hey, people need to stop doing drugs, man. Like, it is ridiculous out there, right? So, pretty simple. I mean, kids get this stuff. Little kids literally get this before the smart guys. Did you know that he said that's the way it would be? Says, you smart guys with your scribes and you Pharisees, you are no wise going to inherit the kingdom of heaven until you become like these small kids. These kids get it. They totally get it. They're like 3 years old and they get it. But you don't get it because you are a slave to your ego and your identity and religious superiority and pride. Now you're trying to continuously maneuver to capture the glory of righteousness through your intellectual activities, rather than just letting God have it, who has it the whole time. You see, it takes humility to just admit that Papa's in charge. We don't like to give that throne. We like to sit on the throne of who's the smart guy with the book, gets to explain the way stuff works. Always wanting to hijack the throne and hijack his glory. That's messed up. Not wise. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Same exact answer. You guys can review my videos from 10 plus years ago of me and Dante sitting down in the woods talking about the same exact thing. People ask about, like, the sinner's prayer. What do you think of that, Rex? Like, I don't know of any magical recipes besides love. If you love Papa, he's going to take care of you. Do you think you can lose your salvation, Rex? I don't know what you're talking about. How the hell could I lose Papa? How could I lose the love of my Father? After all that I've been through with him, there's no way I'm going to lose it. What are you on crack? The amount of patience he's continued to show me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm going to lose that. I couldn't imagine a spot where I, you know what I mean? Strange questions, right? They're strange questions if you really back up and look at the motives of them. I don't think it's bad to ask the questions. I hope we can look at this from a different way. Look at it in simple terms. That's the solution. It's very simple. Yeah, I love Papa. We should all, if you love him, he'll take care of you. That's the one sentence answer. Did you know that if you love him, he'll take care of you in all regards? Which means that you will then eventually start showing good fruit. That's keeping the commandments. Yeah? What? Well, you didn't keep it perfect. No, man, that's why I'm still on earth. You know what I mean? We're still why do you think they had to walk around the desert for 40 years? They had to let all the crazy stuff fall out of their pockets. He's continuously working with us, right? Yeah. If you think that's helpful, or if that makes sense, or if you dig that, let me know below. If you want to have your awesome turbo smart guy arguments, have those below as well. It'll entertain us. Maybe I'll pipe in down there, who knows. But if you guys appreciate these talks, or if you want to help support the general operation, or if you want to, we do like 60 or 70 posts on average per month on Patreon. You can come check us out on Patreon too. I really appreciate your support. And we'll catch you guys later. All right, Rex out.